Young Philly, the well-known YouTuber, has been arrested in Australia for one of the worst charges possible: rape and other related charges. He was actually extradited, which means moved from one territory in that country to the other, from Brisbane to Perth, where he had to face a court for a bail application. Apparently, his bail application was approved. But even so, it looks likely that he's not going to be allowed to leave the country at all, because typically in cases like these, where you have a suspect who is not a citizen and not permanently a resident of that country, they have less ties to that place. So a court is unwilling to allow that individual to travel back to their home for obvious reasons, because they may not show up for court. Given the notoriety and the fame that young Philly has, this is something that could be potentially absolutely destructive to his career. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is if you look at the potential jail time that he's facing, and it is incredibly significant. He is actually facing, based on section 325 of the Criminal Code Complication Act, Young Philly, Compilation Act, I should say, Young Philly is facing up to 14 years in prison on one of the counts. 14 years in prison. So, if he is convicted, it looks likely that he will face jail time and his life is not going to be the same. I mean, lots of people dream about going to Australia, being in the outbacks, etc., but few people dream of experiencing something like that in Australia. So it just goes to show that people have to be very mindful of their conduct, and there are different cultural cues and interactions that you have in different countries that you have to be mindful of. It's best to take a conservative approach, not to be partying, etc., or else you might find yourself in a situation like young Philly found himself in. But it'll be interesting to see how the case pans out.